Welcome to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
Yeah, this is the MarcWes Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Wesley Pierre, better known as Westradamus, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris, the producer. And, we're going to jump right into it because, it's just been a bad few weeks. But before we jump into that, I'm going to go ahead and say thanks to all the subscribers. Hopefully everybody had a happy Christmas, a happy New Year, and we starting off the new year. Yeah, matter of fact, this is the first time we're recording this year. Also, our other host, Marcus, is actually still part of the podcast right now. He's at the UA game, All-American game for I guess the high schools, all the potential individuals that's going to play for the University of Miami, and some other prospects that's probably going to other schools like Brandon Ennis and so on and so on. But to be honest with you, got to go ahead and start with devastating news that we've seen that happened yesterday, and of course, I would normally want any player to find himself in a horrible situation so my team can reap benefits of that. But as far as with what I seen yesterday at the Bills Cincinnati game with Damar Hamlin, I'm a football guy all day, and this is Florida is a football town, from Pop Warner all the way to professional football, and when I seen what happened, I actually didn't see it, to be honest with you. In the beginning, I didn't see it live. I had the game on in the living room. I was outside, handling some business outside, and when I peeked through the sliding door, I just seen why the game stopped. I'm wondering what's going on, because this is supposed to be one of the games that everybody want to see, supposedly, because it's going to have great ramifications for who's going to be number 1, number 2, and number 3 seeds in the AFC. And when it panned right to what's going on the field, I seen people kneeling, and I seen people crying. People look like they were shocked. I'm like, what the hell going on over here? And then, when I came inside to, figure out what's going on, I seen, they played the replay of, him, tackling, his opponent and getting up slightly and then falling completely down. I'm like, I was like, what the hell going on? And, I'm used to seeing injuries happen all the time. Of course, what we've been seeing lately in Miami with Tua, and how he had his fingers all crumped up, like something devastating happened to him. And in this case right here, he's the actual defender. He's the one that normally, put the hits on the offense, and for him to, tackle that player and get up and then collapse and collapse like he had nothing in him, is like he was lifeless. It was hard to actually see, because I got a son. It's different now that I'm a parent, and I want my son to play football as well. That's one of the conversations that me and my wife have with one another. She want him to play more so like basketball or baseball, something that's not gonna have a negative effect on his body. I'm always trying to push for football because that's my first sport. Of course, like I said earlier in the podcast, this is a football town. And for me to see that, it made me question it too. Made me be like, damn, am I tripping when my wife be having her arguments about, no, I don't want to, go through that and this, that, and the other. But I'm looking at, like a broken arm. I'm not thinking about CTE. I'm not thinking about, someone collapsing on the field and possibly losing their life, concussions and certain things like that. And concussions lead to CTE, from taking hits like that. And he looked like he took the hit right under the chin, like at the perfect time or what a worse time for that to happen to him. You see what we have on screen right now. Everybody's shocked. I seen, even the Bengals and even their fans, salutes to their fans, they were all, cheering for him and, silent, forget the game is what a lot of people were saying while I was seeing it. And that was one of the things that I was trying to figure out, were they actually going to play the game? Because I'm like, like I said earlier, great ramifications, and the game don't really mean nothing. The game ain't nothing. Life, you can't take back a life. But normally when, we have these conglomerates like the NFL, NBA, soccer, for me, what I've always known, even though they try not to put that on the surface, is they really be after the money. And sometimes, as far as sports like that, like hockey, like football, games that, is really like a gladiator sport. We look at them like soldiers rather than players. They get injured and people are like, all right, let's go ahead and put our helmets on and pass back, and go right back to the game. But for everybody to be reacting the way they was reacting was what I thought they should have done, and even the NFL in not continuing the game, because like I said, their bottom line is money. Majority of the time, it's not. From recent, you have seen them changing rules for head hits to the head and certain things like that, and this is a defensive player. And the crazy thing is, the defensive players been saying this all along. They've been like, look, y'all been changing rules for the offense to protect them, but we're on the same field. On what about our health? And for me, that's lowering the head, what they changed for the defense. And not blaming that wide receiver, but that wide receiver, he ducked his head, and that helmet hit the defender. Again, we do know that everybody like explosive games, high-powered offenses, and you've seen the game change from more defensive, low-scoring games to games that's high-powered and high-scoring, and this, that, and the other. But I understand people trying to protect the game, but in games like this, it's kind of hard to protect anybody. Even in NASCAR, I remember when Dale Earnhardt Sr. died.
They're all chasing Michael Waltrip on the super stretch.
Does Earnhardt Jr. have anything left? He's going to try. Waltrip to the bottom, trying to throw on the block. Successful so far. 3 wide behind, halfway down the back straightaway. Waltrip with maybe a 1 car length lead over Earnhardt Jr. to 3.
Michael Waltrip showing the muscle. Everything stacks up from third on back. Dale Earnhardt gets turned sideways. He'll take Schrader. Earnhardt and Schrader are in the wall. Waltrip leads off 4.
Coming down to the finish, though, it is Michael Waltrip trying to hold off Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 463 tries. Finally, Michael Waltrip is going to win a NASCAR Winston Cup race, winning the Daytona 500, the biggest of them all. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is second, Rusty Wallace third, Ricky Rudd fourth, and fifth is Bill Elliott. Let's go to Eli Gold.
Sitting directly in front of me, the Ken Schrader car and the Dale Earnhardt car. Earnhardt was on the low side of the racetrack. Someone turned his car. He went shooting up the banking directly into the route that Kenny Schrader was occupying. Schrader now very quickly calling over for the medical crews to come to attend and check on Dale Earnhardt.
And I don't normally watch, that sport like NASCAR and stuff like that, but he was like the MJ of NASCAR. And for me to see that, I was younger, but it hit me hard too. Right now, I'm hoping that he pulled through, but the way everybody is actually covering it, and from what I was seeing on the field, as far as with people crying and stuff like that, I don't know. Hopefully he did make it, and this is not a publicity stunt where they're trying to just not put it out there, like saying that he passed on the field. Because from my understanding, he couldn't breathe and he had no heartbeat, and they resuscitated him. As far as giving him a heartbeat before he left the actual field. That's a great thing. I also heard They're praising the medical team for approaching him and helping him so quickly, because you all know, like we live in Florida. Majority of the time when you don't get oxygen to the brain, it take like a minute, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes before you wind up suffering and can't come back from it. Yeah, you probably live, but it's going to be a big life change for you. And you take the head, the body fall. So for me, when it comes to him, very devastating to see. Again, like I say, it made me question, do I want my son to actually play on football? And yeah, it's a freak accident, you know, but this is one of the things that you got to actually think about when you have your kids, family members, anybody play any one of these sports, because that's what you're accepting when you actually try to play these games.
Yeah. I mean, just to chime in on, like, if you would want like your kid to play football, if I had a son, I would definitely not want him to play football. Not football, not boxing. It would be basketball. It would be baseball, soccer, but definitely not boxing, not football. Because even without this being a freak accident, we see what these retired players go through. You know what I mean? Like Junior Seau. They say, right, he killed himself. A lot of them say it's because of the CTE, because, when you get hit like that, it changes your brain chemistry. You know what I mean? So it almost changes who you are as a person. Like, you could be one way your whole life. You get hit. There's people who got hit in bad accidents, and it changes their whole personality. You know what I mean? They're a totally different person.
Look at AB.
Yeah, look at AB, exactly. But yeah, man, this one I didn't even see it. I saw it this morning when I woke up, because I passed out early, and when I woke up, it was all over the news, and I'm like, what the fuck, yo? And it's just interesting to just think that I think this season of football is going to change a lot in the NFL, just based on what happened with Tua, with all these concussions that he's gotten in one season, and then this happens. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's to the point where it's like, okay, they changed the rule where you can't hit to the head, but now he did what he was supposed to do. He hit below the head, right? And look what happens. And now it's going to be like, okay, where does the NFL go from here?
I don't know. When it comes to the NFL, they're the only ones that find a way to, when something negative happened, the story just disappears and people are not talking about it like that. I don't know where they go from here, but like you said, you have all these players that wind up suffering from some type of really life-changing situation, playing football or playing one of these crazy sports. But I don't know. Like you said, you got Tua with how 2 concussions already, possibly 3 already. Because the first one they said it was the lower back, and I kind of, what we seen when he was stumbling, it was a concussion. When it comes to Shazier for the Pittsburgh Steelers a few years back, one of the top tier linebackers at that time. I hated playing Pittsburgh. One, because they Pittsburgh, but 2, because he was a beast. You know what I'm saying? Then you get AB. I know everybody be crapping about AB, but like what you said earlier, when you have major collisions to your head like that, it changes the chemistry in your brain, and you see how he's like a complete different person, because I can't see how somebody could be in a league. Majority of the time in his league, he wasn't a problem, and as soon as he got that hit to the head from that individual in Cincinnati. And the crazy thing is, all those players that we're talking about, Tua, where did he get injured? In Cincinnati. Shazier, where did he get injured? Cincinnati. AB, where did he get injured? Cincinnati.
I didn't even notice that.
Where did he get injured? Cincinnati.
Damn, I didn't even notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, when it comes to Burfitt, the one that hit AB, that was blatant. But as far as, I don't understand how all these freak accidents happen on the same field. Kind of like, with the Dolphins right now, we're thinking that everything is good, and then, it wind up being bad. But as far as with Hamlin, man, hopefully he can make a full recovery. For me, I truly feel like because it happened on the field, it may save his life. I truly feel because it happened on the NFL field, the NFL is doing whatever they can to make sure that he survived this one, because that would be a huge blow to the NFL. You already got parents that don't want their kids to play football because of the CTE thing. Now you come over here with this, and you possibly could die on what? You can die on the field, or have something like this close to death happen to your loved one on the field. That would have the NFL lose major money. And depending on how the NFL move right now, if they don't show no type of sympathy towards this situation, it could turn a lot of individuals away, and they lose in that way. So
yeah, but did you see that they was really just gonna give them like a 5-10 minute break and tell them to come back on the field? It was actually, as you see right here, right? It was actually the coaches and the players that weren't with it. See, what is this? This David Schuster. I don't know who that is, but it says, based on a variety of reports, the NFL did not make the decision to suspend the Bengals-Bills game. Rather, players/captains and coaches from both teams who had witnessed Bills safety Damar Hamlin getting CPR for 8 minutes said they would not continue the game. So the NFL, I heard the NFL was like, yeah, right? He's getting CPR for 8 minutes. That's crazy, yo. That's a long time.
That's what I'm saying. And they did it for 8 minutes because they didn't want him to die on that field in front of everybody. The same way all these injuries happened to Tua in front of everybody. It's not no regular game. It was a prime time game. This was prime time game. And for it to happen in front of everybody like that. And like I said earlier, the bottom line is money when it comes to these big corporations. You know what I'm saying? Playoffs is about a week and a half away. Where they going to go ahead and find a time to actually replay this game? You know what I'm saying? And this game going to have ramifications on the Dolphins too, because the Bills play the Patriots, and let's just say they said they're not going to play this game. It's going to affect the seeding. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the AFC, it's going to come to, all right, we got to play this game instead of resting our players because we beat Cincinnati. Supposedly we beat Cincinnati. Now we get home field throughout. Right now, since Patriots in our division, we probably was going to rest some people. We still probably would have beat them, but right now we got to make sure that we get that divisional win to help supposedly us, in that regard. But again, it's one less game that you're playing, so I don't know how it works with Kansas City. As far as with the Dolphins, I want them to play the Patriots so the Patriots could lose, and supposedly the Dolphins, we play the Jets, and the Jets have nothing to lose. They already eliminated, and the Dolphins, hopefully we could pull something out, but man, this shit crazy, man.
Did you see what Skip Bayless tweeted?
I seen everybody was giving him the business type shit. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seemed so irrelevant. I agree with everything he said, but the bottom part, which seems suddenly so irrelevant, because what he's saying is the truth. How the NFL is going to go ahead and postpone this game, replay this game. Now, what was not tasteful was him saying that right then and there. You know what I'm saying? But when are you going to go ahead and talk about it too? You feel me? Because are we gonna play this game? Because like you said, they thought it was gonna be a 5-minute delay and they're gonna go right back in it. You know what I'm saying? So he probably looking at it that way too. Now I know Skip, he be doing all type of craziness and saying all type of craziness. Skip know how to tread water or this, that, and the other. I don't think that he really did that because supposedly some people gonna say he's racist. Some people are going to say he's insensitive. And a lot of times he is insensitive. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about the racist thing. I don't know. But for me, I seen how Shannon Sharp, he didn't show up to Undisputed behind this tweet. You know what I'm saying? and you seen recently when he gave Shannon Sharp the business, basically like sunning him, like acting like he don't know what he's talking about. He's like, man, I won Super Bowls, and Skip Bayless like, so basically like shitting all over his awards is like somebody saying I graduated high school. You're like, man, so what? That's an achievement. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of the fact, Skip finds ways to always get out of this. And regardless of the fact, it's not like Skip is somebody that everybody like. They're going to continue hating him. This is just one more thing that he could add on to his plate where people don't like him. But he's still going to make his money if you really want to be honest about it. Still tasteless, but I can see where he was coming from because that's what I was just asking. It's a week and a half. You feel me? It's a week and a half away. Like, what you gonna do?
How do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're just gonna call it like a tie? I guess.
Yeah, they're gonna call it a tie. They're gonna call it a tie.
But is it? Do they both get a win on the on the schedule, or
a tie is win, loss, and tie. It's win, loss, and tie. The Giants got a tie this year. You know what I mean? The Giants got a tie this year. Gene, garbage ass team. They got a tie this year, but they still find a way to make the playoffs. His bitch ass called me last week. Well, you feel me? Just running his mouth. You feel me? Yeah. Gene, the guru. Get out of here. But yeah, back to this topic is man. I don't know what they're gonna do. Hopefully they find a way to make it work. But I mean, this is sports, man. Like we seen what happened in the pandemic. They could have easily not played sports, but they found ways to play sports. WWE found ways to have wrestling without crowds. You even had some people having fake fans inside stadiums during that time. They don't care, man. That's the thing that people got to understand, man. And for a lot of people don't care. They only care about their team. They care about them, their loved ones. If it's the opponent, it happened to the opponent team, like they truly don't care. That's why I give salutes to Cincinnati fans for really, displaying some type of remorse and sadness for the way that he fell on the gridiron.
Yeah, if that was like, let's say like Philadelphia, like we know Philly is infamous for being straight assholes, like you could break your back and be carted off, and they still there booing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for me in this situation, I understand. It's still fucked up that they'll do it, but in this situation where it's like life or death, I think everybody would act like the Cincinnati fans. I see it in basketball, see it in football with other injuries, and I don't normally see them, like praising that. I normally hear cheers when they get on the car and they waving and this, that, and the other. So I'm not going to throw everybody under the bus, but we know we have some people that's cynical and do wish bad on people. And this is not one of these situations where I think even the most cynical person would wish that on anybody. So Hamlin, please, get better. One fortunate part to this situation was not that significant. He had a charity that he always used to go ahead and do, and at one point it was thousands of dollars, and within hours of this devastating situation to happen, it raised like millions of dollars already, and it's still growing. So that's a good thing, but it's a bad thing how I be looking at things is where people wait till
something bad gotta happen
for you to go ahead and donate, for you to go ahead and see but then again, sometimes people don't know about what you got going on until the light is shined on you like that, because you're a football player, but there's other football players on that same gridiron like you, and y'all got helmets, so people don't normally know how y'all look or what y'all got going on. A lot of people have charities that they don't be out in the public being like, oh, yes, I did this. They just do it for, something inside them to make them feel good and positive about themselves. So it may be that people didn't know about the charities, but, look, I know you was thinking like me, like why it took so long for people to, have to, donate that type of money to his charity. But, I can't really knock it. Do something well with it, but what I really want is him to, wake up. From what I seen on the news, it said you're not gonna find nothing out today. I was on I was on ESPN, following it all day today, and one individual was speaking to a doctor that he knows, like a reporter, and the reporter said the doctor that deals in that situation, not in this specific case, but in the same topic situation, say you're not gonna find anything out in 24 hours. You're gonna find something out after the 24 hours because they induced them into some type of sedation where they actually make his body get a little bit, they lower the temperature of the body, so a lot of the functioning could be focused on the brain. So and then after 24 hours they wake him up and then see what happens from there. But for me, I'm just, like I said, we live in Miami. We know how it is with pools. We know how it is with beaches when you don't get oxygen to the brain for 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's not a positive thing. I just don't, since I ain't see it live, I don't know how long it took for them to start doing CPR. How long it took. I know they said it took 8 minutes, but how long it took before you start giving him oxygen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's gonna go ahead and dictate in what direction his wellness is gonna be when he does wake up, because that's what we do on the MarcWes Sports Podcast. We're gonna, speak it into existence. You will wake up, and when you wake up, hopefully you make a full recovery.
Yeah, I think just personally, just on the positive side, just thinking about, like, all right, he's a young man, he's a healthy young man. This is a dude that is constantly exercising and probably takes care of his body a lot. So hopefully all that work that he's done to be able to get out on the field and perform at an elite level, hopefully all that is a benefit to what he's going through now, and he pulls out of it. You know what I mean?
Definitely couldn't say it any better, like, for real. But I'm gonna go ahead and kind of transition. Same sport, different team. Our team, Dade County, Miami Dolphins. The curse of the Dolphins, it continues.